are getting close to finding out who will be the 2016 Fayette County Teacher of the Year. I recently talked to the finalists to learn what makes them excellent teachers. You will hear from them in a moment, but first I want to invite you to the 2016 Fayette County Teacher of the Year celebration on April 21st at New Hope Baptist Church South Campus, starting at 6 p.m. The event is free and open to the public. I hope you enjoy the following interviews with our finalists.
This place is so wonderful to work in, and I had no idea that, I was valued as much as I was. So that just kind of warmed my heart a little bit to know that people appreciated me and thought of me in that way. In the classroom, I feel that I always try to make learning creative for the students. So like right now, we have Genius Hour going. So I feel like it's okay if I give up a little bit of my instructional time to allow them to do something that they're passionate about. So sometimes my philosophy is a little bit different than what you might see in a traditional classroom or years ago. But I feel that that makes a difference. That makes the kids want to come to school. That makes them value their time with me. And in the long run, it's just a really great learning environment for everyone. Every day, first thing, I'm at the door, welcome, I'm glad you're here, hugs, high fives, depending on the student. It's a learning environment, and I tell them all the time, we learn. I like to put that out, to know that we're a learning community and that we do learn together. We do make mistakes together, and that's okay, as long as we are willing to work hard enough to overcome those mistakes and to make it better in the long run, because that's how we all learn. And so what does this mean since this is a rectangle? I hold parent math nights, and I say, okay, next month we're doing multiplication and division, and this is where I have parents, my kids telling me Miss Cruz doesn't do it like that, and they can't do this, and I'm saying, but this is how I know, and this is what I want it done, and there's just arguments at home, and parents kind of get frustrated. And I said, well, come on in, I'm going to share with you what I do. I'm going to share with you why I do it, which is the most important thing. I tell the parents, I said, well, it's a little selfish, but in the long run, it helps me. It makes my job easier because you're not arguing at home, the kid's not arguing at home, and in the long run, they can do the skill developmentally the way that I want them to be able to do it. I videotape my instructional strategies with models, my voice. So just like if I was teaching a class, if a kid was absent or you need review, there it is. It's up on our website. You can go visit. I know the kids in after school doing their homework, they'll go, Miss Cruz, I watched your video 4 times and then I could answer number 3. That's fabulous. Parents like it too because it's like they have a front seat in my classroom. So now I'm changing the rules, aren't I? This is my 2nd year here at Inman, so I feel like county-wide because I've been in another school for a very long time, but county-wide, the support to extend my education, to practice my knowledge, or to learn, best practices through our ILTs and those kinds of things. I don't have to go anywhere else to continue to improve myself in this county, and that's what's really fabulous about this place, not just Inman, but it's Fayette County.
When I found out I was Flat Rock's Teacher of the Year, I was beyond excited. So it was really awesome in my 27th year of teaching to have that honor. When I was little, I guess from kindergarten, I didn't play, house, mom and dad, things like that. I had dolls lined up around my room, and I had a little bitty green chalkboard. And I would write on that little chalkboard, and I loved it. When I went to college, I knew that I wanted 4th or 5th grade. And then they assigned me to my student teaching at Point South Middle School. And I was so scared. And after 2 days in there, I thought, you know what? They're just big bodies with little bitty kids inside. And at that moment, I fell in love with those 8th graders. And from that point on, I knew I wanted the older ones, and came to 8th grade and have been in 8th grade ever since.
I know what it is. What is it?
I hope that they see a teacher who loves Flat Rock students. I always think that they should be held accountable because sometimes they don't think that they should, and then they don't learn their lesson from it. You did something, there's a consequence, and then we move on from it. Now, there are definitely positives, and those are the favorite thing that I have. The students, I have somebody in every class that writes down how many points they've earned for their class's behavior, and so they have a list on my board even now going of things that I owe them. And they influence each other positively. So they know the kid that, might not remember his homework on a consistent basis, and that's what they'll remind. Don't forget to bring this, we're going to earn points tomorrow. So it helps that it comes from them and not just from the adult in the room.
That we'll see on the Georgia milestones, okay?
I have had lots of students in college that will send me an email, could you please read over my essay? I taught a student named Bruce Dukes. He went to Georgia State and played on their football team. And he would send me a text and say, you're my favorite teacher. I need you to read my essay. And I would say, when's it due? And he would say, in 1 hour. And so I would try my best to get it all fixed and send it to him. So I do take credit that Bruce graduated from Georgia State. But it is an honor. It's an honor to be trusted, that they know that they can come back and, hey, will you look this over? Sometimes you might get tired of reading papers, but I've read a lot. We are a strong team, and we are a village, and it takes all of us working together. We all know that we can count on each other, so it's not just a job. It is part of who we are, and for all of us.
One of the things that I love most about my classroom are the flags that hang from the ceiling. I don't buy those. Those come from former students. And so when my freshmen come in at the beginning of the year, it's always a great talking point that we look, and I have the UGAs and the Georgia Techs and the Auburns and the Floridas, but I have some of the smaller schools. It allows us to talk about possibilities and expectations. My big thing is I want them to know that I care about them. I want them to know I'm invested in them. I think if the kids see that you live outside and they see that you're invested in what they're doing, they're more likely to put the time into the math. My class is it's structured, but it's not. And we all talk. They may be explaining a problem to each other. When it's my time, I'm going to ask them to stop, and I have great kids. But it's free, and everybody's going to give a wrong answer now and again because they're all giving answers all the time. And so it takes the shame out of it when sometimes it's just your turn to not be right. And the best of all possible worlds are when they correct each other before I have a chance to. No, don't you remember she said? Well then, then your teacher heart smiles great big because the kids are doing the instruction and they're doing the self-correction and the self-motivation, and that's the perfect world.
Drew, what do I got?
I do a lot of pretending that I'm not very smart, and I can't remember things, so this is what I do. The sign stays the same, and I have to remember to be a snake, and just to give them some mnemonic devices to help, anything to embed it in their brain for the long term. Once or twice a semester, I'll go to Partners Pizza or to another restaurant, and I'll just do a study session. They don't have to come, it's optional. If they come, they have to be polite and respectful, but it's a different environment. They can interact with each other, and I'll work a problem for a student, and then inevitably, 2 or 3 minutes later, somebody else will walk up with the same question. Well, I don't explain it a second time. The kid sitting next to me gets to do it, and now he's teaching, which is embedding it in his mind. I think it's important to observe outside your comfort zone. I think you need to be in the classroom, and I don't think you need to necessarily be sitting in an AP classroom where everybody's eager to learn. Sometimes you need to be down in the trenches. Get a feel for whether or not you're prepared to deal with the kids that are there because they have to, that there is no motivation, and all of their motivation is going to come from what you can instill in them. And if you still want to be a teacher, then you're going to be a good one. Getting to represent the school that you believe in, that you chose for your children, that just means everything.